Legend has it that in 1735, a Pines resident known as Mother Leeds found herself pregnant for the 13th time. Mother Leeds was not living a wealthy lifestyle by any means. Her husband was a drunk who made few efforts to provide for his wife and 12 children. Reaching the point of absolute exasperation upon learning of her 13th child, she raised her hands to the heavens and proclaimed, "Let this one be the devil!" Mother Leeds went into labor a few months later, on a tumultuously stormy night, no longer mindful of the curse she had previously uttered regarding her unborn child. Her children and husband huddled together in one room of their Leeds Point home, while local midwives gathered to deliver the baby in another. By all accounts, the birth went routinely, and the 13th Leeds child was a seemingly normal baby boy. Within minutes, however, Mother Leeds' unholy wish of months before began to come to fruition. The baby started to change and metamorphose right before her very eyes. Within moments, it transformed from a beautiful newborn baby into a hideous creature unlike anything the world had ever seen. The wailing infant began growing at an incredible rate. It sprouted horns from the top of its head, and talon-like claws tore through the tips of its fingers. Leathery bat-like wings unfurled from its back, and hair and feathers sprouted all over the child's body. Its eyes began glowing bright red as they grew larger in the monster's gnarled and snarling face. The creature savagely attacked its own mother, killing her, then turned its attention to the rest of the horrified onlookers who witnessed its horrific transformation. It flew at them, clawing and biting, voicing unearthly shrieks the entire time. It tore the midwives limb from limb, maiming some and killing others. The monster then knocked down the door to the next room, where its own father and siblings cowered in fear and attacked them all, killing as many as it could. Those who survived to tell the tale then watched in horror as the rotten beast sprinted to the chimney, flew up it, destroying it on the way and leaving a pile of rubble in its wake. The creature then made good to escape into the darkness and desolation of the Pine Barrens, where it has lived ever since. To this day, the creature, known varyingly as the Leeds Devil and the more famous Jersey Devil, claims the Pines as its own, and terrorizes any who are unfortunate enough to encounter it. In the 18th and 19th centuries, the Jersey Devil was spotted sporadically throughout the Pine Barrens region, frightening local residents and any of those brave enough to traverse the vast undeveloped expanses of New Jersey's southern reaches. Unearthly wails were often reported emanating from the dark forests and swampy bogs, and the slaughter of domesticated animals would invariably be attributed to the phantom of the pines. Over the years, the legend of the Leeds Devil grew, occasionally even overstepping the boundaries of its rural Pine Barrens haunt to terrorize the local towns and cities. The Jersey Devil, the supposed mythical creature of the New Jersey Pinelands, has haunted New Jersey and the surrounding areas for the past 285 years. This entity has been seen by over 2,000 witnesses over this period. It has terrorized towns and caused factories and schools to close down, yet many people believe that the Jersey Devil is a legend, a mythical beast that originated from the folklore of the New Jersey Pine Barrens. Others disagree with this point of view, although there is evidence to support the existence of an animal or supernatural being known as the Jersey Devil. It consists of the stories of the Jersey Devil's origin, the sighting of it, and finally, some theories. There are many different versions of the birth of the Jersey Devil. One of the most popular, the legend says, of a Mrs. Shrouds of Leeds Point, New Jersey, made a wish that if she ever had another child, she'd want it to be a devil. Her next child was born misshapen and deformed. She sheltered it in the house so the curious couldn't see him. On a stormy night, the child flapped its arms, which turned into wings, and escaped out the chimney and was never seen by the family again. A Mrs. Bowen of Leeds Point said the Jersey Devil was born in the Shrouds' house at Leeds Point. Another story also placed the birth at Leeds Point said that a young girl fell in love with a British soldier during the Revolutionary War. The people of Leeds Point cursed her. When she gave birth, she had a devil. Some people believe that the birth of the devil was punishment for the mistreatment of a minister by the Leeds folk. Yet another story placed the birth in Estelville, New Jersey. Mrs. Leeds of Estelville, finding out she was pregnant with her 13th child, shouted again, "I hope it's a devil." She got her wish. The child was born with horns, tail, wings, and a horse-like head. The creature revisited Mrs. Leeds every single day. She stood at her door and told it to leave. And after a while, the creature finally got the hint and never returned. Burlington, New Jersey also claims to be the birthplace of the Jersey Devil as well. In 1735, Mother Leeds was in labor on a stormy night. Gathered around her were her friends. Mother Leeds was supposedly a witch, and the child's father was the devil himself, a slight difference from the stories prior. The child was born normal, but then changed form. It changed from a normal baby to a creature with hooves, a horse's head, bat wings, and a forked tail. It beat everyone present and flew up the chimney, then circled the villages and headed towards the pines. In 1740, a clergy exorcised the devil for 100 years, and it wasn't seen again until 1890. While there are many other versions of the legend says it was the 6th, 8th, 10th, 12th, or 13th child. It was born normal or deformed, and the mother confined it to the cellar or the attic. Although there are many discrepancies in all of these stories, there are 3 pieces of evidence that tie all the legends of the Jersey Devil's origin together. The first thing is that the legend ties together the name Leeds. Whether the mother's name was Leeds or the birthplace was Leeds Point, all of the stories include the name Leeds. Alfred Heston, the Atlantic County historian, believes that the devil could be a Leeds or a Shrouds baby. He discovered that a Daniel Leeds opened land in Great Egg Harbor, New Jersey in 1699. His family lived in Leeds Point. He also discovered a Samuel Shrouds, Sr. came to Little Egg Harbor, New Jersey in 1735 and lived right across the river from the house of Mother Leeds. The third fact ties in the Burlington story with the other stories. Professor Fred McFadden of Coppin State College, Baltimore, found that a devil was mentioned in writings from Burlington as early as 1735. He also indicated that the word Burlington was used to name the areas from the city of Burlington to the Atlantic Ocean. This means that the name is now used for the birthplace such as Leeds Point or Estelville, and could be the same place referred to in the Burlington legend. The origins provide some validity to the existence of the Jersey Devil, but the sightings are also more substantial pieces of evidence. The sightings have been divided up into 3 separate time periods: pre-1909, January 16th through the 23rd, 1909, and post-1909. From the pre-1909 era, few documented records of sightings still exist. The ones that do confirm the existence of the devil. In the early 19th century, Commodore Stephen Decatur, a naval hero, was testing cannonballs on the firing range when he saw a strange creature flying across the sky. He fired and hit the creature, but it kept right on flying across the field. Joseph Bonaparte, former King of Spain and brother of Napoleon, saw the Jersey Devil in Bordentown, New Jersey, between 1816 and 1839 when he was hunting. In 1840 to 41, many sheep and chickens were killed by a creature with a piercing scream and strange tracks. In 1859 through 94, the Jersey Devil was seen at numerous times and reportedly carried off anything that moved in Haddonfield, Bridgeton, Smithville, Long Branch, Brigantine, and Leeds Point. W.F. Mayer of New York noticed that while visiting the Pine Barrens, most of the locals would not venture out after dark. The devil was sighted by George Saucery, a prominent businessman at the New Jersey-New York border. This was the last reported sighting before the turn of the century. In 1903, Charles Skinner, author of American Myths and Legends, claimed the legend of the devil had run its course, and that in a new century, New Jersey would hear no more of it. New Jersey rested easy with that thought for 6 years, until the week of January 16th through the 23rd, 1909. During this week, the devil would leave his tracks all over South Jersey and Philadelphia. He was seen by over 1,000 people. This was his largest appearance in the state ever. It all started early Sunday morning of January 16th, 1909. Thack Cozzens of Woodbury, New Jersey, saw a flying creature with glowing eyes flying down the street. In Bristol, Pennsylvania, John McCowan heard and saw the strange creature on the banks of the canal. Patrolman James Sackville fired at the creature as it flew away screaming. E.W. Minster, postmaster of Bristol, Pennsylvania, also saw a bird-like creature with a horse's head that had a piercing scream. When daylight came, the residents of Bristol found hoofprints in the snow. 2 local trappers also said they had never seen tracks like those before. On Monday, the Lodens of Burlington, New Jersey found hoofprints in their yard and around their trash, which was half-eaten. Almost every yard in Burlington had these strange hoofprints in them. The prints went up trees, went from roof to roof, disappeared in the middle of the road, and stopped in the middle of open fields. The same tracks were also found in Columbus, Heading, Kenora, and Rancagua. A hunt was then organized to follow the tracks, but the dogs would not follow the trail. On the 19th, the Jersey Devil made his longest appearance of the week. At 2:30 a.m., Mr. and Mrs. Nelson Evans of Gloucester were awakened by a strange noise. They watched the devil from their window for 10 entire minutes. Mr. Evans described the creature they saw. It was about 3.5 feet high, with a head like a collie dog and a face like a horse. It had a long neck, wings about 2 feet long, and its back legs were like those of a crane, and it had horse's hooves. It walked on its back legs and held up 2 short front legs with paws on them. It didn't use the front legs at all while we were watching, they said. My wife and I were scared, I tell you, but I managed to open the window and say shoo, and it turned around and barked at me and flew away. Tuesday afternoon, 2 professional hunters tracked the devil for 20 miles in Gloucester. The trail jumped 5-foot fences and went under 8-inch spaces. The hoofprints were found in more parts of South Jersey. A group of observers in Camden, New Jersey saw the devil. It barked at them and then took off into the air. The next day, a Burlington police officer and the Reverend John Purcell of Pemberton saw the Jersey Devil again. Reverend Purcell said, "Never saw anything like it before." Since 1909, the Jersey Devil has continued to be sighted by people all over New Jersey. The number of sightings that have been reported to the authorities had dwindled over the years. This could be attributed to the fact that people don't want to be branded as crazy. Even though the number of reported sightings has dropped, there's still a considerable amount of sightings in the post-1909 era. In 1927, a cab driver on his way to Salem got a flat tire. He stopped to fix the tire, and as he was doing this, a creature that stood upright and was covered with hair landed on the roof of his cab. The creature shook his car violently. He fled the scene, leaving the tire and jack behind. Philip Smith, who is known as a sober and honest man, saw the devil walking down the street in 1953. The characteristic screams of the Jersey Devil were heard in the woods near Woodstown, New Jersey in 1936. Then we get to around 1961. 2 couples were parked in a car in the Pine Barrens when they heard a loud screeching noise outside. Suddenly the roof of the car was smashed in. They fled the scene but returned later. Again they heard the loud screams. They saw a creature flying along the trees, taking out huge chunks of bark as it went along. There have been other sightings since 1909, such as the invasion of Gibbsboro in 1951. The people there saw the devil over a 2-day period. In 1966, a farm was raided, and 31 ducks, 3 geese, 4 cats, and 2 dogs were killed. One of the dogs was a large German Shepherd, which had its throat ripped out. In 1981, a young couple spotted the devil at Addison Lake in Atlantic County. In 1987, in Vinland, an aggressive German Shepherd was found torn apart and the body gnawed upon. The body was located 25 feet from the chain which it had been hooked around. Around the body were more strange tracks that no one could identify. The sightings and prints are the most substantial evidence that exist. Most of those theories on the Jersey Devil are based upon that evidence. Some theories can be proven invalid, while others seem to provide support for the Jersey Devil's existence. One theory is that the Jersey Devil is a bird. Mrs. Cassidy of Clayton thought it was an invasion of scrowfoot ducks. The scrowfoot duck is much too small to be mistaken for the devil. Others believe that the devil is really a sandhill crane. The crane used to live in South Jersey until it was pushed out by humans. The sandhill crane weighs about 12 pounds, is 4 feet high, and has a wingspan of 80 inches. It avoids man, but if confronted, it will fight. It has a loud scream, whooping type voice that can be heard at a distance. This could also account for the screams heard by witnesses. The crane also eats potatoes and corn. This could also account for raids on crops. This theory doesn't explain, though, however, the killing of livestock. It also doesn't explain why people describe the devil as having a horse's head, bat wings, and a tail, all of which the crane doesn't have. Professor Brauhoff said that the tracks were made by some prehistoric animal from the Jurassic period. He believes the creature survived underground in a cavern. An expert from the Smithsonian Institute had a theory about ancient creatures surviving underground. He said the Jersey Devil was a pterodactyl. The Academy of Natural Sciences could find no record of any creature, living or extinct, that resembles the Jersey Devil. Jack E. Boucher, author of the Absagami Yesteryear, has a theory in which he believes the devil was a deformed child. He thinks Mrs. Lead had a disfigured child and kept it locked away in the house. Then she grew sick and couldn't feed the child anymore. It escaped out of hunger and raided local farms for food. This doesn't take into account, though, the incredible lifespan of the devil. The devil would have been 174 years old in 1909. It also doesn't account for the sightings of the devil flying. Only a small amount of the sightings and footprints could be hoaxes. The Jersey Devil has been seen by reliable people such as police, government officials, postmasters, businessmen, and other people whose integrity is beyond question. As for the hoofprints, even if some were hoaxes, there's still no way to explain most of the tracks, especially the ones on rooftops and tracks that ended abruptly as if the creature took wing. The last theory is the most controversial one. Many people believe that the Jersey Devil could be the very essence of evil embodied. It is said that the devil is an uncanny harbinger of war, and it appears before any great conflict. The Jersey Devil was sighted before the start of the Civil War. It was also seen right before the Spanish-American War and World War I. In 1939, before the start of World War II, Mount Holly citizens were awakened by the noise of hooves on their rooftops, and the devil was seen on December 7th, 1941, right before Pearl Harbor was bombed. He also was seen right before the Vietnam War. The Jersey Devil's habit of being a forerunner to wars could be because of his possible demonic origins. In 1730, Ben Franklin reported a story about witchcraft near Mount Holly, New Jersey, which ended in a trial. One of the origin legends say that Mother Leeds was a witch. The devil's birth could have been a result of the witch's curse. Other facts support the supernatural theory. They are the results of the death of the devil. When Commodore Decatur fired a cannonball at the devil, it went through him and it was unaffected. In 1909, a track walker on the electric railroad saw the devil fly into the wires above the tracks. There was a violent explosion which melted the track 20 feet in both directions. No body was found and the devil was seen later in perfect health. In 1957, the Department of Conservation and Energy found a strange corpse in a burned-out area of the Pines. It was a partial skeleton, feathers and hind legs of an unidentifiable creature. The devil was thought to be dead, but reappeared when the people of New Jersey thought that this time his death was real. Each time it's reported dead, it always comes back. The Jersey Devil will be 285 years old this year. It seems that the devil is immortal, which a supernatural being would be. Another thing that supports this theory is the incredible distances the devil could fly in a short period of time. No animal could travel as fast as the devil did in 1909 when he was sighted in South Jersey, Philadelphia, and New York throughout the week. But none of these theories can give a definitive answer to what the Jersey Devil was, is, or could be. But the sightings prove that something is out there. Whether the Jersey Devil is a bird or a demon, it's still left up to speculation. The people of New Jersey, though, have definitely seen something out there lurking in the Pine Barrens. If you do like what you hear, please consider giving us a like and a subscribe. And don't forget to always join us every Tuesday and Friday for more The Unknown Files here on Unknown Territory.